Diphtheria Part 2. General characteristic. It is also known as Klebs-Loeffler bacillus. Gram-positive, highly pleomorphic organisms with no particular arrangement. Special strains like Albert strains and Ponder strain are used to demonstrate the metachromatic granules formed in the regions. You can see the picture of Corynebacterium diphtheri in the figure. Medically important species. First, Corynebacterium diphtheria. Second, Corynebacterium ulcerans. Third, Corynebacterium ovis, which is also known as pseudotuberculosis. You can see the strains of such microorganisms in the figure. There are two major types of diphtheria: pharyngeal, tonsillar, insidious onset of exudative pharyngitis. Exudates spreads within 2-3 days and may form adherent pseudomembrane. Membrane may cause respiratory obstruction. Fever usually not high, but patient appears toxic. Transmission means how germs are spread. This is spread by droplet infection, direct transmission from infected cutaneous lesions or from objects contaminated by nasopharyngeal secretion. What is diphtheria toxin? Diphtheria toxin DT is an exotoxin produced by pathogenic strains of Corynebacterium diphtheri whose infection causes a sore throat and fever followed by necrosis of respiratory tissue that produces a characteristic thick gray coat. As Corynebacterium diphtheri was one of the first bacterial pathogens to be isolated and grown on pure culture, diphtheria toxin is one of the most extensively studied and well understood bacterial toxins. The gene for DT tox comes from a lysogenic prophage that integrates its genome with Corynebacterium diphtheri plasmids. The gene is translated and secreted as a single 535 residue polypeptide chain and consists of two major subunits known as A and B. You can see A and B subunits in the figure. The N-terminal A subunit 1 to 193AA carries the catalytic domain, whereas the C-terminal B subunit 134,535AA comprises the receptor binding and transmembrane domains. You can see the diphtheria toxin and diphtheria toxin receptor in the figure. Isolation and identification. The clinical diagnosis of diphtheria requires a bacteriological laboratory confirmation of toxigenic C. diphtheria in short or lesion cultures. For primary isolation, a variety of media may be used. Tellurite agar, Ca or Ba, Loeffler or Piesland. By Ca or Ba, we examine for beta hemolysis streptococci. By Loeffler or Piesland, stain with methylene blue, subculture to tellurite agar. By these three, we can pick colonies resembling C. diphtheria, inoculate suspected colonies onto Loeffler or Piesland agar medium for in vitro toxigenicity test, broth medium for in vivo toxigenicity test. By Loeffler or Piesland, we can perform biological test and smear stain with methylene blue. Specimen collections. For specimen collection, we can take throat and nasopharyngeal. When diagnosis is confirmed, patient's contacts must be subjected to the same procedures, moisten swabs with normal saline and collect in the usual manner. Here you can see the battery plate showing streaking of C. diphtheria and some results like indole negative, MR positive, methyl red positive, citrate negative and VP Vox Prosker negative. toxigenicity test. First, in vivo toxigenicity test. From a pure culture of an isolate, inoculate a 10 ml tube of BHIB, incubate at 370 degrees Celsius for 48 hours. Inject one guinea pig with diphtheria antitoxin to serve as a control. After 2 hours, inject 5 ml of the broth into the control and the test animals. Observe after 48 hours. Results and interpretation. If the test animal dies and the control survives, that means it is C. diphtheria, Corynebacterium diphtheria. If both the test and control show illness or die, it shows the negative result. No injection with diphtheria antitoxin serves as a test, and injected with diphtheria antitoxin serve as a in vitro toxigenicity test. The toxigenicity of C. diphtheria strains is determined by a variety of in vitro and in vivo tests. The most common in vitro assay for toxigenicity are the Lac immunodiffusion test, second polymerase chain reaction PCR detection of the diphtheria toxin gene tox, third enzyme linked immunosorbent assays detect diphtheria toxin from clinical Corynebacterium diphtheria isolates, and immunochromographic strip assay detection of diphtheria toxin in a matter of hours. In vitro toxigenicity test, first we have to know the principle of the procedure. This is based on a precipitation reaction between diphtheria toxin produced by the test culture and diphtheria antitoxin in the medium. Procedure. Paper strip is saturated with diphtheria antitoxin. The medium contained in a petri dish is streaked with the test organism if more than one strain are to be tested. Place the paper strip perpendicular to the organism streaks. Incubate the plates at 37 degrees Celsius for 24 hours. Examine the line of precipitation that extend out from the line of bacterial growth. The presence of line of precipitation is considered positive, and it confirms that the test organism is a toxigenic. Here you can see Lax toxigenicity test for Corynebacterium diphtheria. In middle, we soaked this strip in diphtheria antitoxin. Dark blue line suggests toxigenic control strain. Light blue line suggests toxigenic test strain, and green line suggests non-toxigenic control strain. Skin test, also known as cheek test, to determine whether the patient is susceptible to diphtheria infection or not by detecting the absence of antibodies. Procedures. 0.1 ml of toxin is injected intradermally in one arm. 0.1 ml heated inactivated toxin as a control is injected in the other arm. Read after 24 to 48 hours. Positive susceptible, redness and swelling that increase for several days and then fades, leaving brownish pigmented area. Then control site shows no reaction. Negative, not susceptible. Here you can see the procedure of enzyme linked immunosorbent assay detect diphtheria toxin. First, spotting of antigens onto nitrocellulose membrane, blocking and incubation with serum sample, incubation with CNP protein G conjugated, washing and drying of test strips, and fifth, the last, scanning and analyzing with imaging. Treatment. First, antibiotic therapy, penicillin or erythromycin to eradicate the organism. Second, antitoxin to neutralize with inactivated or attenuated toxin of toxigenic C. diphtheria. Control by immunization with inactivated or attenuated toxin of toxigenic C. diphtheria. Diphtheria antitoxin DAT produced in horses, first used in US in 1891, used only for treatment of diphtheria, neutralizes only unbound toxin. Here you can see how did they make make diphtheria antitoxin. Scientists learned to harness the immune systems of some animal to produce antitoxin serum to use as medicines. Diphtheria antitoxin was one of these medicines. Doctors used diphtheria antitoxin to treat and prevent diphtheria, an often deadly childhood disease. First, scientists grow diphtheria causing bacteria in the laboratory and harvest its toxin. Second, next, researchers inject horses with the diphtheria toxin. As an immune response, the animal's blood produces diphtheria antitoxin. Third, scientists collect blood from the horses and separate out antitoxin-rich serum. Fourth, then researchers purify the antitoxin serum for use as a medicine for people. Vaccines. There are 4 vaccines that includes protection against diphtheria. The DTaP vaccine protects young children from diphtheria, tetanus, and whooping cough. The DT vaccine protects young children from diphtheria and tetanus. The TDAP vaccine preteens, teens, and adults from tetanus, diphtheria, and whooping cough. The TD vaccine protects preteens, teens, and adults from tetanus and diphtheria. Thank you.